Hi, and welcome to the Zen Supermom podcast. The episode today is for you if you feel like your kids' misbehavior, them not listening, they're having tantrums and drama and escalations, is directed especially towards you. So with nobody else, not their father, not their grandparents, not at school, nobody else, they are not misbehaving as much with them as they are with you. They might be hitting you, biting you if they're like little, or having all these fights with you especially. And you're sitting there and thinking, well, this is not fair at all. I'm the one who's doing everything for them. I'm the one who sacrificed my entire life, turned it all around. I'm the one who sacrificed my body and my physical health and all of my sleep, all of my time now, all of my energy. I'm doing everything for them. I'm the one who should be getting the most love and appreciation and all the hugs and kisses every day. And all I get is the worst? Like, what the heck is going on? So, if that's you, my dear supermom, this podcast episode is going to give you some insights, why that's happening, and then also a path. Well, what is it that needs to change? What is it that you are in control of, and how is it that you can turn it around? Because there is hope. Want to get some of it? Let's go. Hi, I'm Elena, and I'm a mommy tantrum specialist because I used to be specialist at yelling at my daughter daily. Now, 6 years fast forward, me and my team help busy, loving moms stop yelling, start setting healthy boundaries with natural consequences while staying calm so that the kids listen more. And one day when you look back at their childhood pictures, you will be able to feel at peace and happy with what a wonderful job you did. So that's what we do in this Zen Supermom podcast, helping you find out why none of these parenting techniques, not even anger therapy and counseling, is ever going to help you get there. You need to understand the root. Where is all of your uncontrollable anger coming from? That's what this podcast is about. So, welcome to the Zen Supermom podcast. Hi, my name is Elena. I'm a mommy tantrum specialist because I used to have mommy tantrums. And I remember I used to feel exactly this way, as I shared in the introduction. I used to feel as well that it's not fair that my daughter was kind of like nicer and more cuddly. And when she started talking, even sometimes she told me like, oh, daddy is more fun. I want to spend time with daddy. And I was like, well, too bad. Bad luck. Daddy's at work. You're stuck with me. And like, I was feeling this is annoying. I'm the one who's doing everything and spending all the time waking up at night. Like, it's me doing the 24/7 shift. How dare she tell me something like that? And I know I'm not the only one. I get that. And this is why the inspiration for this podcast episode, where that's coming from, because I got that question recently several times again. My kids are listening more to their father. So what's wrong here? Obviously, something is not working. And usually what I found out is for two reasons, or it can have like two different flavors, this situation. One is that it's for a good reason. Like that was for, in my case, daddy was just more fun. He was more chilled and more relaxed, of course, because mommy was doing everything in the background. So it was like a good thing that my daughter felt attracted more to my husband. But then also on the flip side, what I'm hearing from many moms is that their kids are listening more to their father or somebody else in the family because they are more strict. And so there is usually more fear. And kids are more obedient with other people. And mom is the one who's trying to be nice, who's trying not to traumatize the kids by scaring, punishing, yelling. But then the kids don't listen so much. And they're like laughing at your face. They are not taking any instructions. They're not following any guidance. Unless the father comes, and then it's enough that their father just does one look. And the kids are so scared that they go and do it immediately. And then he comes and tells you that you're too soft and you should become more strict and more authoritarian. authoritative. I keep mixing those two. Sorry, English is not my first language, obviously. But he's telling you like you should be more strict because kids need like discipline, and you cannot be wishy-washy and you cannot be too nice touchy-feely because then they are going to grow up in spoiled brats. And you're torn. Because there's a part of you who feels like, bloody hell, he's right, and I want them to listen to me the first time I ask them, or if I just give them the look myself. But then there's the other part of you who remembers how it was growing up with very strict parents. And you're like, I don't want to do the same to my kids. I don't want them to be scared of me. I want them to have at least one safe parent who they feel like they can talk to and they don't have to feel threatened by. And so you're torn. Okay, so let's unpack these two situations because, surprise, surprise, they have the same root cause. They are just showing up then in different ways depending on who you married or who you're with, who you had your kids with, what that relationship dynamic is. But the root cause in you is still the same. And that's the good news because it means there is the same remedy, the same steps to correct it. Okay, so let's unpack that. Let me start with my story, because that's the one I'm the most, of course, like closely connected to. Yeah, exactly as I said. This is what I felt was not fair. That my daughter was even then telling me, Daddy is more fun. I want to be with him. And there was a part of me who was like, okay, great, amazing, be with Daddy so that I have the time to clean, cook, whatever, like work, take at least one cup of tea and drink it warm before it cools down because I'm so busy with you. So there was a part of me who felt relief that I don't have to do everything by myself 1000%, but that at least there is like 0.005% that he can be helping me with. But then, even deeper, I was angry. It was making me feel resentful. And I was angry at my daughter. How come she doesn't see it, how much I'm doing for her? I was angry at my husband because this is not fair. He's getting the best of her, of our daughter. He's getting her at the times when she's fed, she's clean, she's happy because mama did all the hard work. And so now he's getting the best time with her when she's the easiest. And they have such a beautiful bonding time connection together, which I never get to do because when I'm with her, all the other, like when she was small, I stayed at home to take care of her. I dropped my business. I dropped my career for 2 years. And so it felt like I'm the one who then spends the remaining 23 and a half hours, and I get the worst because I'm the one who's waking up in the middle of the night. I'm the one who needs to clean, cook, get her ready, deal with her tantrums, deal with her when she gets hurt or when she's angry, when she's tired. So I get can I say bad words here? If there are kids, please mute it down. I'm the one who gets the show. And he's the one who gets like the most beautiful. And so then he's like, isn't our daughter so beautiful? Isn't she so easy? And I'm like, duh, yes, she is, because I'm the one who made her this way. I'm the one who's like breaking my back and sacrificing everything in my life to make sure that she is doing great. Yeah, you're welcome. Right? So this was my victim pity party, huh? And this was the breaking point. After I really had to do a lot of my work on myself because it was not all roses and unicorns and rainbows. I was becoming the Momzilla, as I call it often in my mommy tantrum trainings. I was having mommy tantrum trainings, even though I stopped working and I dedicated fully to my daughter, all of my time and energy and everything. And I thought, well, this will be so easy because, I have nothing else to do, just take care of one child. Well, guess what? It was not easy. I was burning out even then. And I felt like, what the heck is wrong with me? There are moms who have 2, 3, 4 kids who are working part-time or even full-time. How come they can do it? And I can't. And I'm not doing not even half of the things I thought I could manage while being at home with my daughter. And even on top of that, not doing enough, and then even becoming yelling mom and being so stressed out about it and feeling like I'm not good enough and I'm failing at this in all possible ways. So what the heck was going on? So only once I started getting on my own healing journey, I realized, well, actually it does start with me. And there is a strong victim voice in my head who's making me feel like, poor me. And things are happening to me. Things outside that I have no control over are killing me. And this was the first shift that I then experienced, realizing, well, actually, it's not that the world outside conspired against me, but this was actually my decision. It was my choice. It was my choice to stay at home for 2 years and forget about my business and to be dedicated to my daughter. It was my choice to take it all on me, all the house chores, everything, including our daughter. It was my choice because I knew that my husband was working so much that the time that he has to be with us, he can spend with us, I do want him to be chilled and relaxed. And I wanted him to spend a quality time with our daughter so that she is not like, I have just a mom and I don't see my dad. Because if he would come home and would have to do whatever, like laundry, cooking, shopping, whatever, then he would have no time with her and he would have no relationship with her. And I felt like her connection with me was strong. There was a big trust because I was the one who was always there for her. And I wanted her to have as much of that as possible with her father as well. So it was actually my conscious choice to put everything on me so that he can get the best out of her. And he does have at least some chance of creating nice connection with her, which I succeeded at. The only reason why I didn't appreciate seeing the result of it and why I was so jealous was because there was not only the victim, but I realized there was also the people pleaser in me who felt I was not getting enough credit for it. That they kind of took it for granted and they felt, well, we have such a great connection because I'm such a great dad and you're such a great little girl. Like, how amazing that we have such a great time together. And oh, this stressed out yelling mom who never has the time to even eat her meal while sitting down. She's always rushing and running. Like, let her do her thing. Let us have fun because we are having such a great vibes. That was the problem. And I realized it's me who's causing it. Because, and I talk about that in every mommy tantrum training. If you've never heard any, if you never participated in my free training, we are going to link it up for you so that you can sign up. I go in much more explanation there. But the shortcut here is, I was, surprise, reliving my mom's patterns. This is exactly what my mom used to do. And that's how I know was the role model and then standard for being a great mom. Doing everything for everybody else, not taking enough time for me, because that would be selfish and lazy and not wanted. So I took my mom's patterns and what the blueprint in my head was for being an amazing mom, and I just basically recycled and repeated all of that in my marriage and in my family and in my patterns as a mom. So that was a hard look. Because growing up as a kid, I was like, I knew it. I felt it deep down in my core, like this is not going the way it should be. Not between my parents, not my mom dealing with us kids. And I was like, there's something off. And when I grow up, I want to be an amazing mom, just without this like yelling and stressing and making people feel guilty for that. That's what I want to take out. I just want to keep everything else about my mom because I loved it. She was always my role model and just like, she's my hero always until today. But then when I caught myself being jealous and resentful of my husband, I was like, I'm doing exactly the same thing. Watch out, I'm falling into the same trap. And so that was this realization and like, opening my eyes to realizing I'm doing it to myself with the best intentions for the best reasons for me and my family, but I'm doing the same. So then realizing that's what's going on, that's what gives you power. If that's something similar that you're going through, now at least congratulations, you know where it's coming from. you know that it's like the relationship they have, that's actually a great thing. You want your kids to have great relationships with other people in your family, or with family friends, really close friends. You want your kids to feel safe, secure, and happy, and feeling loved unconditionally. Like, that's the dream, right? That's the selfless dream for us as moms. You want your kids to be surrounded by people they love and they enjoy spending time with. Now, what needs to get cleaned up is your feeling in the rest of it, and you feel like you're the one who's paying the price for it. So what helped me turn it around was to remember it was actually my conscious choice, because for me it was. And you need to do your due diligence. You need to do your thinking, reflection, analysis. How did you end up in this situation? Was it there also, like, part of it you did consciously because you wanted this result, and it's just that you're missing getting the credit for it, getting the recognition and appreciation for it? Or is it that you slipped really unconsciously in maybe your mom's, your dad's patterns without even catching it? And so is there something you need to correct now? Is there something you need to take back? Is there something in the dynamics in your relationship with your partner, spouse, wife, husband, that you need to have a hard conversation about and say, like, hey, I'm not the servant, I'm not the maid, and this is for all of us. And then what are the natural consequences if they do want to participate more or they don't want to participate more? Is it really about the time division, like the chores division? Yeah. And where is it that maybe they would be happy to help, or not? If not happy, then at least they will be like, okay, I can do that. But you're not asking. You're expecting them to read your mind. And when they don't, and they do not empathetically try to come in and save the day and rescue you from your overfilling to-do list, then you're getting resentful, and then you're getting at them, and you're kind of like this nagging, and it feels like you're a mom and you're asking your son to do something, but you're nagging them only afterwards, after they haven't done it, and you're complaining about it. Okay, so all of this dynamics, as you see, it's like very tangled. It is complex. You need to detangle. What is it that's going on? Yeah. Are you repeating your parents' patterns? Did you make your spouse or partner, did you turn them into your kid, and now you're behaving like their mom, nagging constantly, like begging them to do something, like to help you, not lifting them up to be a team member, like to be a partner on your team, trying to do things, because it's not just you who should be doing everything, but it's a teamwork. Yeah. So you need to start detangling and cleaning up whatever that like subconscious pull you have, like, yeah, but if I don't keep running around, then I'm going to be lazy, or people will judge me, I'm not a good enough wife, not good enough mom. Like, that needs to get cleaned up. And as you would learn in the mommy tantrum training, that's part of your childhood trauma. Yes, that's the T word, how it is called, actually. Yeah, it's part of your childhood trauma. It's like 1,000 paper cuts when you were programmed by your parents to be the good girl, just suck it up, take care of everybody else, walk on eggshells. Your highest intention, if you want to be a good person in life, your highest intention should be making sure other people are happy, because you are responsible for their happiness. I call BS. No, that's a childhood trauma. That's a programming kids into being like a cut-off version of themselves. And this is where most of your life challenges stem from today. Not just your relationship in your family, but if you look anywhere else in your life, you will be able to find traces and impact of the unhealed childhood trauma. So, surprise, surprise! Then the next step is to heal that. Okay, and again, I talk about how to do that in my training. But let me move on to the second scenario, which was the case of this mom who was mentioning it. Like, my kids listen more to their father, and there the case was not for the good reasons, but for the wrong reasons. They are listening more to somebody else because that person is yelling, scaring, punishing, and they are just afraid. So they want to avoid any negative impact. So they're basically manipulated into being obedient, good kids. Okay. And you see that, and it feels like, and it's an extreme to what you're doing. Because then the more somebody is so strict and punishing, the more, if you have any of that like people-pleasing, empathetic, nurturing nature, on top of your childhood trauma that we just mentioned, you will want to swing the pendulum to the opposite extreme and be the people-pleaser and kind of like make it up to your kids. So if there is one person in their life who has like super strict boundaries, who doesn't care, don't give kids any choices, while all you learned in parenting books, like you need to ask your kids, give them some choices, and they're like, no, it's my way. This is what we are eating. This is what you're wearing. Now is the time to go out. You don't have a choice if you want to do this or that. This is what we are doing this afternoon. And I'm deciding because I'm the whatever, father, grandfather, grandma, like I don't care. Yeah. It's my way or what is the saying? It's my way or highway. Basically like no other options. We are doing what I want because it's the best. And I know because I'm the parent. No questions allowed. No, like, la, 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 nothing. Shut up. If that's the attitude of the other parent or grandparent or somebody who's helping you raise your kids, then you will naturally want to swing to the opposite extreme, which is, by the way, also not healthy, because you do the exact other thing. You have no boundaries. You put your kids first, but even above yourself. So you would do anything just to make them happy. Again, you make yourself feel responsible for their happiness, and you're kind of trying to make it up for them, the damage, the trauma they're getting from the other person by being scared. You're kind of like spoiling them with your love, which has good intentions. I'm not judging you. But where you then take it too far is that you have no boundaries whatsoever, because you feel like, well, where I cannot find the right balance. I don't want to be scaring them, but they are not listening. So I need to keep asking 1,000 times nicely. I need to be just like giving them hours and hours in the morning. I met mom who was like, now we are taking 3 hours in the morning to get out of the house. And still it's not enough for my daughter because she will still be late. And I still need to repeat things 100 times until I get too nervous and frustrated and like freaking out because we are going to be late again. So I need to yell again. And then I feel so guilty because I become like her father, who he doesn't even have to yell now anymore because he yelled so much before that she got scared. So it's like she's scared of him. So it's like, where is the healthy balance? And how do I convince my partner, the father of the kids, that he's taking it too far, because he's trying to convince me that I'm too soft? And so then, well, surprise, surprise, that actually the first aha moment will come when you realize neither of you is doing it the healthy way. Both of you are setting up your kids for challenges, for problems further on in their lives. Because what you're doing is you're teaching your kids either, scaring them into obedience. That will make them vulnerable to being bullied and getting into toxic relationships, because that will make them feel they are not good enough and they cannot stand up for themselves. It's not okay to say no and protect your boundaries. You just have to go with the bully for the little breadcrumbs of love and attention he or she gives you. You will just suck it up and take the bullying and let them squish all of your self-confidence, because you're not worthy of anything more than that. But then the other extreme that you might be doing right now with the people pleasing is that, my child, you can do anything you want because my key priority is that you're happy. Whatever makes you happy, because your happiness is the most important. That is equally dangerous, because think about the consequences. This is not what healthy boundaries and natural consequences are. This is not a healthy situation for a child to believe that they can do anything for them to be happy. Because then you are already seeing the problems. They will expand naturally, and it's not their fault. This is like natural human design. We would take all the space. If you have no boundaries early on, where the mind is naturally not selfish, not self-centered or narcissistic in any way, but it's a normal part of the development to feel like I'm the center of the universe at the beginning, in the first formative years. And if you let that expand with no consequences, if you don't build the empathy in your kids to let them realize, help them realize, absolutely, you deserve to be happy, you deserve to take up as much space as you want, until it touches somebody else's boundary, until it touches my boundary of my self-worth, of my time, of me loving myself. I love you and I'm happy to show it, but I'm not going to beyond my self-love boundary. Like if you would tell me, I love you so much, but if you tell me jump out of the window to show me how much you love me, I'll be like, whoa, that's a step too far. You see? So this is why boundaries, and this is what boundaries are. Absolutely, your kids, like, do everything for them to be happy, but you do go first. What are your requirements? What are your needs? Not in a selfish way. I'm not saying like leave your kids home alone for 1 week so that you can go to Bali for holidays because you need a chill. You need to chill. You need a time out. You need to rest, and you deserve to take care of yourself. I'm not saying that. Our needs as moms, like they will be squeezed for a few years until the kids grow up. But there will still be some, and you need to take care of it, and you need to show your kids you are taking care of it, and you're taking care of your boundaries, at least in whatever possible way. And it might look different in different days. When your kids are sick, you might give them a little more. When they are going through some difficult transitions at school, with friends, there's something happening in the family, you are getting divorced, whatever dramatic, difficult, stressful situation is going on in their lives, you might be moving your boundaries to accommodate and help your kids, but there will still be something at the core that is non-negotiable. There will still be your mindset looking for opportunities to give to yourself first in whatever way, even if it's like 5 seconds of sitting on a toilet because you don't have any other place where you can lock yourself up, and taking a breath and recovering yourself, like whatever it takes. But there needs to be a core of you taking care of your needs and doing it as a preventive action, so that it doesn't have to pile up all of that resentment, frustration, stress, and then you would like dump it on your kids 15 years, 20, 50 years later, like, I sacrificed everything for you and you didn't give me anything back. How dare you, such an ungrateful child. And like, la, la, la. I should have yelled at you like your father. You don't want to do that. Preventive action to take off whatever you're feeling. Take it off the moment you're feeling it in a healthy way. Don't dump it at your kids. Don't blame that. Don't blame it on them, because it's your stuff to clean up. It's not their fault. Kids are supposed to push your boundaries and keep asking for more. But you need to clean that up. And in order for you to be able to do that is you need to take care of the little you there who feels resentful, like it's not fair. I'm already giving my kids so much more than I ever got from my parents. I'm giving them so much more attention. I'm not beating them up. I'm not yelling at them, not even half as much as my parents yelled at me. And they are still asking for more. They're still complaining. They're still not listening. And it's not fair. That's what needs to get cleaned up. So again, childhood trauma healing. We are back here. That little you, that resentful, jealous, comparing you who feels like this is freaking not fair, that needs to get healed so that you stop throwing it at your kids. It's not their fault. None of this is their fault. It's not their fault that you married or that you chose to have kids with a guy or a woman who's too controlling, who's taking it too far, who has a childhood trauma themselves. Obviously, they didn't get a healthy example of how to get authority and respect in a natural way without having to bully somebody. Too bad! Now you're stuck with them permanently or temporarily. Well, the best thing to mitigate the impact is to realize none of you is right, actually. Sorry to break the news. It's not that he's wrong and like, oh, help me persuade him that he's wrong. He shouldn't be so strict. No, I'm sorry, my dear. Like, it's not okay what you're doing either. You need to heal. Rewire your brain. This is, by the way, spoiler alert, the second piece of my secret solution, my secret recipe next to childhood healing is mental fitness, is literally brainwashing yourself, resetting your nervous system and how your brain thinks and where you go automatically, because you need to start changing that people-pleasing pattern, that thought that somebody else's happiness is worth more than your own. And you thinking that if you set any boundary, it's punishing and like, oh, I don't want to punish my kids because they're already so much traumatized. All of that needs to get rewired in your brain. Because once you do, the advantage is one healed parent is more powerful than another parent who's out of control, or it doesn't matter how many other family members are like circling around your child, traumatizing them and being too strict. It doesn't matter. You as a mom, and sorry if there are any dads, I know it's not fair, but you mom have, for all those good reasons, you have much more power. It's not 50-50 like mom and dad, the power of the connection. It's not 50-50, never. It's always more. Unless like something happened with the mom and now you're a single dad and you have to take care of your kids, like then I'm sending you big hugs. But that's a different scenario. We're not talking about that here. But if that's like classical scenario, you as a mom, if you heal, and not if, once you do heal, it doesn't matter who else, what they are doing with your kids. It doesn't matter if there's any other bully and toxic person who's too strict in their environment. You are the source of their self-worth, especially at the early formative years. You are the one who they're checking with to reconfirm. Am I still loved? Am I still worthy? Mommy, do you still love me? And they might not be asking, but they are testing it every single time they are having a tantrum, every time they are having a hard time, every time they know they messed up. And now they are like, okay, let me see how mom will react. That's why they keep testing. Sometimes they keep doing it. They do keep doing it intentionally then when they grow up, because they're just like touching. And let me make sure, like, how far can I go? And is mom still going to let me know she loves me? Or is this already a step too far? And you need to be very careful to start cleaning up your reactions so that the response back that you get when they push your boundaries is, this behavior, not okay. But we are okay. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to make it personal. I'm not going to take it as a personal attack. I know you're just like, yeah, I don't blame you. I would be trying as well. But you will stay with your energy. You will stay centered and anchored. It's not going to like completely throw you off balance. And you're like, what did just happen? How dare you? And like, and all of this stuff from your childhood when you were hurt and disrespected, all of that comes up now and like you dump it at your kids. That needs to get cleaned up. The good news is it is possible. And this is the fastest, most effective way how you become the healthy for your kids, okay? And how you can be at peace. No matter if they tell you like, oh, I love spending time rather with daddy because he's so much more fun, like it was in my case. I was like, okay, I'm so happy for you guys. This is exactly, I did a good job. I give myself a pat on the back. Or if there's someone who's traumatizing your kids and you're like, oh my goodness, how do I protect my kids? Like, how do I make them change? Make that bully, that toxic person in my kids' lives, how do I make them change? I'm like, no. You already know how hard it is to change you. And now you think it's going to be easier to change somebody else? Like push them into changing? Like, no, stop wasting your time and energy and giving your power away. Take the power where you can have it. Heal yourself. Because I can guarantee you as a mom, once you heal, you can build your kids back up, even if their self-confidence has been already harmed, even if they have been already like feeling scared and like shrinking. You can do a lot of this reparation and healing work on your kids as well once you do heal and clean up your reactions. Okay? This is what's possible, and I see it every day, every week, in every group call I have with our clients. Every time I have a final bonus consultation with a client who is finished, who's leaving, and who's happy and celebrating, and they're telling me all the wins, and I'm just like, melting my heart. Thank you so much for confirming, and great work for making it happen. Yeah, so that's how I know it's possible for you too. The only thing you need is to realize you're not a victim. That's the most important thing. You are not the victim of your life. You are not the victim of your relationships, of your kids, of your partner, husband, wife. You are not the victim. Take your power back and first clean up your reaction so that you're not like backfiring all that anger at them, because that's going to even further take it down. You need to clean it up, stop taking things personally, take your ownership for where you did contribute to creating this situation, and start learning the healthy way. Setting healthy boundaries without blaming anybody for crossing them, but raising like a clear sign, this is a boundary, no go, and if you cross, this is the natural consequence, not a punishment. I'm not going to yell, but this will be the consequence of you crossing my boundary, so that your kids can start feeling safe, knowing what these boundaries are, making them consistent enough so that they know what is the maneuver space they have. Where is it that they can still like fool around and test you? And where is it like, oh, no, really, no. They need to have that clear, no confusion about that, because not only that's going to help you in your relationship with them right now and in the next years, but also you're becoming a healthy role model for them, how they should set up their own boundaries as they grow up and become adults and they enter relationships, intimate relationships, and they become parents. Because you don't want your girls to repeat being people pleasers, and you don't want your son to be some spoiled narcissistic, like, I don't have to do anything because my mom does everything at home, so now I'm going to find a wife who's having the same trauma of being a good girl, and I'm going to boss her around with my OCD and just making her feel bad how stupid and not good enough she is, so that she makes everything for me and I can be the king. Like, you don't want to give the same patterns to your kids, do you? So break the generational chain right here. It starts with you. Yeah. And I applaud you. I honor you for having enough courage to even consider that option, that you have that power, that you don't have to be the victim, and you can stop these generational gender patterns and trauma patterns. Okay. If you want the next steps, and if you want like more clarity on specifically how and having the full roadmap, I would invite you to go and sign up for that Mommy Tantrum training, because that's where I explain it from A to Z, including the next steps. Sounds good? You're doing great, huh? You're doing great. The fact that you even opened this podcast episode and that you listened to it till the end, that tells me that you resonate with it, huh? You get it. So thank you. Thank you for your courage. I see you and I appreciate you. Take very good care, Supermom. See you next time. Why can't you stop yelling at your kids? And no, it's not the stress, lack of sleep, kids not listening, fighting, hitting, no support, time pressure, ADHD, hormones. No, moms around the world are doing it regardless. How? Join us for the upcoming Mommy Tantrum training and find out too.